week 15 of the fantasy basketball season. And here's a few centers I looked at off the wire this week. The first center, Andre Drummond of the Chicago Bulls. So Andre Drummond, I know he hasn't played major minutes now since Nikola Vukovic's been back in the lineup, but still someone that could come off the bench for this Bull team and possibly might get traded to a contender in the next 10 days here before the NBA trade deadline and really help a contender and even fantasy owners. Because when we saw Vuk was out, he was putting up monster double-doubles on the season, 7.7 points a game, 8.4 rebounds, 1.2 steals, and 55% from the field. But the last month of the season, like I said, when he got extended minutes earlier in the month, 9.8 points a game, 10.2 boards, 1.2 steals, a block, 59% from the field. So right now, Drummond available in tons of fantasy leagues here at 79%. And like I said, if you need rebounding, a good field goal percentage, and some shot block, and I think Drummond could do that for fantasy owners. January 20th versus the Grizzlies, 15 points, 10 boards and assists, 4 steals, 63% from the field. January 22nd in Phoenix, 6 points, 5 boards, 50% from the field. January 25th at the Lakers, 11 points, 9 boards and assists, a steal, 71% from the field. And January 28th at the Trailblazers in that one, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks in that game, and 75% from the field. So Andre Drummond, like I said, I know the playing time hasn't been all that great here for Drummond coming off the bench now behind Nikola Vukovic, but definitely someone that could help in rebounding the basketball and blocking shots and a good field goal percentage. So right now, like I said, while he's out there in tons of fantasy leagues at 9%, he's definitely a center I looked at this week. The next center, Nick Richards of the Charlotte Hornets. And Nick Richards, he's been on a tear over the last few weeks here, and he's going out there and playing good basketball for this Hornet team and fantasy owners. Still out there in 53% of fantasy leagues on the season, 9.7 points a game, 7.8 rebounds, 1.4 blocks, and 68% from the field. But the last couple weeks, 14.6 points a game, 10 boards, 2 blocks, and 67% from the field. So Nick Richards is definitely taking advantage over the last few weeks here, where Mark Williams, he's been out with a back injury and still not close to returning of the recent reports. So Nick Richards, he's been a traditional center, and he's someone I've mentioned on and off over the last few weeks on this waiver wire, where he's going to rebound, block shots, and be efficient for fantasy owners. January 24th at the Pistons, 21 points, 10 boards, a block, 69% from the field. January 26th versus Houston, 14 points, 7 boards and assists, 3 blocks, 50% from the field. Then January 27th versus the Jazz, another monster game, 26 points, 13 boards, an assist, 4 blocks, 90% from the field. So like I said, the typical old school center, blocking shots, rebounding, a lot of putbacks and a lot of dunks. And that's what he's going to help fantasy owners in those 3 categories for the most part. So right now, while he's out there and still no timetable for Mark Williams' return, he's definitely a nice ad this week. The next ad, Precious Achiuwa of the New York Knicks. So with Julius Randle out, I think a few guys are going to go up in fantasy value a little bit for this New York Knicks team. So I know there's no timetable yet when Randle will return or even how long he's out. But right now he did dislocate his shoulder in the Knicks' last ball game versus the Miami Heat. So Achiuwa, he got traded to the Knicks in the OG Anunoby deal on the season, 6.4 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 46% from the field. But the last couple weeks, 5.4 points a game, 7.1 rebounds and assists a game, a block, 52% from the field. So this Knicks team, they're going to have to find some offense if Randle's going to miss an extended period of time. Obviously, I think Josh Hart will step into the starting lineup, but Precious Achiuwa, his minutes are going to go up here, I believe. So last few games for Achiuwa, January 23rd at the Nets, 6 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, 50% from the field. January 25th versus the Nuggets, 2 points, 10 boards, 3 assists, a block, 25% from the field. And January 27th versus the Heat, 4 points, 10 boards, a rebound and assist, 2 blocks in that game. So the last few games, his minutes have definitely gone up. I know Hartenstein, he's just come back in the lineup for the Knicks, but if Randle's going to miss a few weeks even, someone's going to step up, and I think Hart, Achiuwa, the first 2 guys, I think where their playing time is going to go up and more touches for them as well. So right now, while he's out there in tons of fantasy leagues, is Achiuwa at 89%. He's definitely this week more in deeper leagues, but still, I think a decent ad. The next center I looked at is Moritz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. So Wagner, very surprising to me. He's still out there, 87% of fantasy leagues. So Wagner on the season, 11.3 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and 59% from the field. So Wagner, his minutes haven't been all that great for this Magic team. But even in limited ball games from 15, 20 minutes per game, he's still going out there and putting up some numbers. January 22nd versus the Cavs, 15 points, 4 boards, and assists at 50% from the field. January 26th at the Grizzlies, 12 points, 3 boards, a steal in that one at 66% from the field. And January 28th in a nice victory versus the Suns, 16 points, 12 boards, an assist, a steal, block, 38% from the field. So right now Wagner, like I said, he's putting up numbers even though he's not playing a lot of minutes. Even though the latest game he did play 22 minutes, for the most part 15, 20 minutes a game Wagner's playing. We know they got Wendell Carter. These as well is this Magic team. But Wagner is making the most of it in the limited time he's getting and putting up numbers. So right now in deeper leagues, good ad this week. He's in the 5th and final center. I looked at off the wire this week. Here's Marvin Bagley of the Washington Wizards. So Bagley, he was a hot pickup last week when he went off for the Wizards, but his percentage ownage dropped under 50%, and that's why he's on this list now in the season. 11.4 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and 58% from the field. But the last 2 weeks since he got dealt from the Pistons Wizard team, 16.5 points a game, 9.3 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and 57% from the field. So I'm surprised fantasy owners dropped him in 4% of fantasy leagues. He's still going out there and getting at least 15, 20 minutes per game. And there's a good opportunity. There's a good chance Daniel Gafford could get traded at the deadline in the next 10 days for this Wizard team. So right now, I think Marvin Bagley's a good ad. And he's going to help in rebounding, efficient field goal percentage, and he could score the basketball a little bit as well. January 24th versus Minnesota, 17 points, 15 boards, a steal, 87% from the field. January 25th versus the Jazz, 14 points, 3 boards, and assists, 80% from the field. And January 27th versus at the Pistons, 13 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, a steal, 42% from the field. So right now, while Bagley's getting good playing time, and that playing time could go up more, like I said, if Gafford's dealt within the next week and a half here. He's definitely an ad this week. So that's a few sentences I looked at off the wire for Week 15 of the fantasy basketball season.